it's me, Jonah, and today I'll be showing you how to make this beautiful Caron go-to crochet shawl. Here's the front. It's very beautiful stitching. And now I'm going to show you the back. Here it is. It's very nicely sized. It's a triangular shawl, and it comes out symmetrically on both sides, and it's very nice. It's great all year around. It's great all year around because it's light enough to be great for those chilly summer nights or air-conditioned stores, but it's also great, of course, for winter and autumn and spring. And the yarn I used was Caron Simply Soft Speckles, and this is the color Chili Flakes. But today I will be showing you how to make this shawl with the regular solid color of light country blue, so you can see my stitching. And for this shawl, you need a 5.5 millimeter hook. This is one of my favorites. It's the Furls Swirl Andromeda, and there will be a link in the description, so make sure to check it out. It's worth it. So now I'm going to show you how to make this shawl, and once again, it is a great pattern. It's easy, not beginner, but it's easy, so it's great for lots of different people to make. And I made this one for my mom, and she gives it a big thumbs up. So grab your 5.5 millimeter hook, your Caron Simply Soft yarn, and let's get started on this beautiful triangular shawl. So I have my Caron Simply Soft and my 5.5 millimeter hook, but before I get to the pattern, I must say it's a Yarnspirations pattern, and it is a shawl that is worked from the top and goes out to the side, to the other side, and down. And it is 61 inches across the top wide and 30.5 inches deep. And this is a easy pattern again, and it works up very quickly, and it uses the front post double crochet and the treble crochet worked in groups of 7 in a shell. And once you get to row 6 and 7, it's just a 2-row repeat. And I recommend you have the pattern because there's also a stitch diagram on the back, but follow whichever way you prefer. So your first step is to take your 5.5 millimeter hook and pull from the center of your Caron Simply Soft. Just pull out a little yarn to start. And to make your slip knot, you're of course just going to make a loop, insert your yarn back through that loop, and pull tight, insert your hook, and pull tight to your hook. Our next step is to create a starting ring at the center, which is where you work your first group into. And you're going to do that by chaining 10 and slip stitching to your first chain. Yarn over for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and slip stitch into the first chain, insert, and pull back through twice. And now we're going to work our first V that creates the center stripe going down the shawl. And to do that, your first step is going to be to chain 4, which counts as a treble crochet starting from here and throughout. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And now we're going to work 7 treble crochets. And to work a treble crochet, you yarn over twice, insert in your ring, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, repeat, and repeat. And there you have a treble crochet. Now you're going to wrap again twice, go into that chain, and work another treble crochet. And a tip for you is while you're working your treble crochet, keep your tail next to your chain so you can work over it and stitch it in very securely, and then once you're done you can just snip it right off. Okay, I'm just working my treble crochet. I have 1 because my chain 4 counts as 1, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so I need to work 3 more. That would be 6, 7, and here's going to be 8. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that is half of your first row. Your next step is going to be to chain 1 and work 8 more treble crochet into that same chain ring. This is 2. 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, and there's 8. So there we've done our first row, 8 treble crochet, chain 1, 8 treble crochet, and with your stitch diagram you can see how it lines up from the first row to the first row, and you have that chain 10 space. And now our next row is going to be where we bring in our post stitches that create the beautiful ridges that make this cowl what it is and has that really nice texture but yet the same airiness with the shells. So to do that, you always start this row by making a chain of 7, which counts as a treble crochet and a chain 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and you're going to skip that first stitch because the treble crochet was technically already worked into that. And in your next 7, until you get to the chain 1 space, because that's 7 trebles, you're going to work 7 front post double crochets. And to do that, you're going to go down into the stitch right next to your beginning one, go down between the post, and come back up around the throat of that stitch, down, come back up around that stitch so it's on your hook, and yarn over and pull through, catching it, and just make a double crochet. So you came up on this side, so you're going to insert your hook back down through that same side and come back out the other side of the next stitch. And that was 2 out of my 7. 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So that was your 7 front post double crochets, and of course you have your chain 7 to start, and this is the back. And here's what the front looks like. You can see how working in those posts gives you that ridge texture that you get, and that is from working in the front post, which turns into the back on the other side. So your next step is just going to be to chain 5 for that center area. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're going to work 7 front post double crochets around the next 7 double crochets. And another thing to let you know is every row you do, every repeat of this shawl that you do, the row you'll notice will take you a little bit longer. That's because every row you are making increases. 3, 4, we have 4, 5, 6, and 7, and you're going to chain 3 and make a treble crochet into the top of this chain 4, so it's of course symmetrical. 1, 2, 3, and wrap twice and count out to your 4th chain. 1, 2, 3, 4, and start into the chain, and of course make your treble crochet. So now we have done our second row. You can see how we're already getting those beautiful ridges from the center right here in our shawl. And of course, once you pull out the stitch diagram, the next 2 rows line up. Then next, our next row is going to be row 3. This is where you start to really bring in the shells. Chain 4 to start, 2, 3, 4, and now you're going to be bringing in the shell stitch. So to do that, you're going to be going into your chain 3 space, and you're going to be making 7 treble crochets. That was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 7. You can see that's our first shell. And our next step is going to be to single crochet in the center in the center of our next 7 double crochets. So we're going to count out 3. 1, 2, 3. Skip those 3 and go into the 4th and single crochet. And now you're going to yarn over twice and work 7 treble crochets right into that center post. Doing right into that gap, the chain 5 gap. You're going to work 7 treble crochets, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So that's half of our row complete. So now you're going to chain 1 and work another 7 into that same gap, sliding your stitches over so you can fit them all in. Four, 5, 6, and 7. Now you can see how we have our next gap. Now we're going to single crochet in that middle double crochet. And we're going to make 7 more treble crochet. That was number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And now we're going to work a treble crochet into the top of our 4th chain. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And that was row 3 of your shawl pattern. And next we're moving on to row 4. And row 4 starts with a chain 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And we're going to skip that first stitch and work 7 front post double crochet around the 7 in that shell worked into your previous chain 3 space. Yarn over, go around the throat, pull up, pull through 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And our next step is going to be to chain 3 and then work 7 front post double crochet across your next set. So 1, 2, 3, and just a tip for next row, that is where we will be working our shells. And right now I'm just working 7 front post double crochet around the second set. 4, 5, 6, and 7. Now we're going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And work another set of 7 front post double crochet. I'm just working my front post double crochet. And another tip for you, this shawl works great in all different yarn weights. I personally prefer the drape and the sheen of Caron Simply Soft, but whatever you have works. You just gotta adjust your hook size accordingly. For example, Red Heart Soft would work great, or Red Heart It's a Wrap Rainbow or Caron cakes, whatever you have at home. Chain 3 again, because of course our shawl is going to be symmetrical. And now we're working our next set of 7 front post double crochets. That was number 4, 5, 6, 7, and now we're going to chain 3 and work another treble crochet in the 4th chain from the hook. 1, 2, 3, yarn over twice, count out 4 chains, 1, 2, 3, 4, and make your treble crochet. Okay, that's the back of our 4th row. It is more smooth, but here is the front. You can see how we're growing that shell and we're adding more stitches every row. So now we're next going in to row 5. 1, 2, 3, 4 for my beginning chain. Now I'm going to work 7 treble crochet in that chain 3 space. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and that is 7. So we have your first shell of this next row. Now we're going to work our single crochet into the middle double crochet. And work 7 more treble crochet into the next chain 3 space. And this is a shawl that it's great. It's an easy pattern because it only uses the basic stitches you learn when you become a crocheter: treble crochet, double, single, and chain. But the only more advanced part is the Picot edging around the edge of the shawl, which I'll show you later. That was 6. This was 7. Single crochet into your center stitch and work another 7, chain 1, and then the rest of your 7 treble crochets. 2, 3, 4, and I'm just going to keep on working my treble crochets, and then I'm going to chain 1 for the top, and then I'm going to work another 7 down the other side, chain 1, and treble down the other side, three, 4, 5, 6, 7. There we have our next V on top, and we're going to single crochet and then follow our steps of the first half of row 5 by making our same shells and our single crochet. Four, 5, 6, 7. We're going to work our next set of a shell and consisting also of a single crochet. Once you get this row down and then the next 2, it works out very quickly. That was 4, 5, 6, and 7. and work a treble crochet in the top of your 4th chain from the hook. Once again, work a treble crochet in the top 4th chain of your hook. I like to go into both loops because that creates a nice sturdy edge for us to work our border into later. And there is our 5th row, and you can see how it's working out in the different directions. And now we're going to work row 6 and then 7, and then from there on it'll be a repeat, and then I'll show you how to do the really fun picot edging that goes around the edges of your shell, and then the single crochet that goes across the top to give it a nice lining. So start by chaining 7 and working 7 front post double crochets into your next set of 7 treble crochets. 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3 for my chain. See, each row is getting slightly bigger, and that's because you're working out in a triangular shawl. 4, 5. Now I'm getting to my last 2 of this set. Gonna chain 3 now, 1, 2, 3. And work another set of 7 double crochets around the front post. 4, 5, 6, 7. Now you're going to chain 5 and do exactly what you did for this first part of the row. Just going to start by, of course, just doing our front post back down the other side. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3 for your chain. And honestly, I have to say, I love the way that the Caron Simply Soft color and light country blue is turning out. Five, 6, 7. That was chain 3. And now I'm working another set of 7. And then we're going to finish off our row and work back for number 7. And then we'll begin the picot edging. And once I'm going to stop the video, and once you come back and you have the length of your shawl finished, I have an important announcement to make to you of a new product that's on my website, jonahhands.com. Here we are working 6, 7, chaining 3, and working that treble crochet, of course counting up 4 chains. Right here. And then you're pulling through our last 2. And that was row 6. And now it's time for row 7. And row 6 and 7 are just going to be the repeats. Chain 4, 7, treble crochets, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, making sure that Caron's will be soft as the yarn that sometimes can tend to fray, so have to be careful not to catch the center of the strand. 5, 6, and 7. And working our normal single crochet right in between that group, pulling it down to form that shell. And another set of 7. And 2, 3, and just remember you keep working in your shell, in your chain 3 gap, creating a shell until you have done 7 treble crochets, and then you're going to repeat your same shell over again. That was 5. And now we're going to work our last stitches. Single crochet. And repeat your shell. Three, 4. Now I'm getting to the point where I have 3 of my shell left. Now I just have 2. And that was last one. So I'm going to single crochet. And then work my classic top. By working 7 treble crochet. I'm on number 2. And then you're going to work a chain 1 and work back down symmetrically across the other side. 4, 5, 6, 7, and do your classic pull your stitch back, chain 1, and repeat to make it symmetrical. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just working my 7 treble crochet group. Okay, nearing the end. Stop, make sure slide my stitches over a little bit more, and work my last of my set. Single crochet, and work your shells now. Here we are, it's coming along. Four, 5. That was 6. And now we're going to do 7. And then you're going to do your single crochet. And then do another set of shells, which again consists of 7 treble crochets. Okay, I'm working my 7 treble crochets. Now I'm halfway through. I just completed number 5. Now I'm done with my 7, so I'm going to continue to single crochet, and of course the middle gap like I've done every other time. And I'm going to continue and make my 7 treble crochets. Halfway through. 5, 6 and 7. Then you're going to work a treble crochet in the 4th chain from the hook. And there you go. Just going to pull these out, and you have done the first 7 rows of your shawl. I love the way this blue's turning out, but what you have to do to make your shawl to your liking, you have to keep repeating rows 6 and 7, except you just add one more shell every row, so your next set will be repeated by having 3 shells, because you'll be working 1, 2, and then of course your another set. So you'll be increasing 1 shell every pattern repeat on both sides, so each row will take a little longer, and you need to keep repeating rows 6 and 7 going to your edges until you have your desired length. So on my finished shawl, you can see how it works out in all directions, and then at the end it's going down all the way, continuing this center stripe all the way to the end, and then it works out in all directions, and it's a very nicely sized shawl. And next I'm going to be showing you how to work a little this picot edging around the V of your shawl, of your triangular shawl. It adds a really nice touch. It's pretty easy to learn. And then at the top, you will just be adding a row of single crochet just to straighten it up and make it look nice and beautiful with the rest of your shawl. So once you've reached the length of once you've reached the size of your liking, come back and I will show you how to work your picot edging, and I also have an announcement to make. Okay, go get to that part in your shawl, and then I'll come back and I'll show you the edging. Now I'm going to show you how to work that picot edging. So to start your edging, you're of course going to work your single crochet across the top of your shawl, the entire length of your size shawl. And you're going to do that by chaining 1 and working a single crochet, and working single crochet evenly across the top. The way I like to do that is by having my chain 1, and then I next single crochet right into that first gap at the top, right between the 3rd loop and the top 2. So I'm going to insert, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 for my single crochet, and now I like to work 2 in this next gap, because that would be 2, yarn over, and pull through 2s. 1, 2, so really we have 3 for that first set of stitches, and then in this gap here, I like to work 1, 2, 3, and then I like to work another single crochet to the top of my next stitch, and then 2 in the gap, and then 3. And what you need to do for the top of your shawl is you don't have to follow exactly what I'm doing by working 3 in each group. What you need to follow is whatever works for you. You can pull it apart and put 4 on the gap and 2 over here. It's whatever gives you the best look and the best edging on your shawl, because this is, to me, I think the most important part. 3, going just in my same group of 3, putting in 2, and onward to the center, and we have that end that has gone through all of our stitches, but for some extra security, we're just going to work until we feel it's secure. Again, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 5 is enough for me to make it nicely across straight. So I'm just going to stick with 5, and then I'm going to continue working my sets of 3 up the other side, working 2, and then working my last set right in between that same stitch from the start. And of course in my big gap I'm going to work 3, 1, 2, 3, and then work 2 in my next spot, and work a single crochet. A good way to look at it is to turn your work sideways, and go edit like from the center, so you're kind of going through one of these very beautiful arrowed stitches, and it creates a very nice look. 1, 2, 3. Now we're going to work a set of 2. 1, 2, and then of course work into the top. 2, 1, 2, 3, and now we're going to work another set of 2, 3, and then in your last top of your chain you're going to work a set of 3 to turn the corner, except of course you will have gone the length of your entire shawl, since of course for the tutorial I just made a smaller sample. Okay, so your next step, now that you have your beautiful straight edging and you can really see what a nice touch it adds, I'm going to pull out a little more yarn, and you're going to single crochet into your treble crochet, your next treble crochet, and now it's time to learn the picot stitch. So you're first going to chain 2 and slip stitch in the first chain, going under both of the top 2 and slip stitching back down. Then you're going to single crochet again and pull through 2 again, and then you're going to work another slip stitch, and you're going to single crochet again and make 2 and slip stitch again, and this creates what you would call a picot, and it adds a really nice edging, and you're going to be doing this around the entire edge of your shawl. It gets a little tricky sometimes, making sure that your whole work doesn't turn, but in the end it gives you a very nice looking product. So as you can see here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 of our little picots. So we're going to work another 2. There was 1. And we're going to single crochet down and work another picot and single crochet again. And then we're going to and then what you next do is you just skip right over the single and you go into your next treble crochet and plain old single crochet into the next one. And we've done 1 shell of our picots. I'm just going to do a couple of the next picots with you. I'm just going to do 3 of them. Remember, you're just chaining 2, inserting, and making that slip stitch. Making sure you're catching all of your loops and single crocheting. I'm going to make 2 more with you, so it's 3. Chain 2, slip stitch in the back, and single crochet back into the next stitch, and work another picot. And what you would need to do is keep working your set of 6 picots over your entire shell border, and you can see how it gives it such a beautiful look. And you need to keep doing that until you're finished going all the way around, and then you'll just finish, of course, with finishing your 3 single crochet. Fasten off, grab your darning needle or crochet hook and weave in your ends, and you're finished with your shawl. So just remember, you're just going to be continuing working your picot all the way around, since you've already made your edging on top look very nice. And this pattern, once again, uses Caron Simply Soft, a 5.5mm hook. And thank you very much. And I just wanted to also let you know that please make sure to subscribe and like this video if you enjoyed this tutorial. It is the Caron Go-To Crochet Shawl. And also, just a little update, I have a new product. It's called Jonah's Hands Miracle Crochet Formula number 5 for when I started crocheting. The ingredients are all natural. It's olive oil, beeswax, vitamin E, and rosemary essential oil, because when you're a crocheter and a knitter, you got to keep those hands nice and moisturized along with your lips. And it's done works for me, so that's on my website, jonahhands.com, so make sure to check it out since it saves your hands. But thank you so much for watching this tutorial, and once again, please make sure to subscribe to my channel, Jonah's Hands, if you want more tutorials. But thank you very much, and crochet away, friends.